Bang, bang. What's going on, guys? Tuned to another exciting edition of the main event on Talkin Hands. It is Super Bowl week. Uh, the Super Bowl isn't the only thing in town this week in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we break down the matchup between Teofimo Lopez and Jamaine Ortiz happening this Thursday night in beautiful Las Vegas. Before we get into that fight, we're going to do a quick recap of the last fight we did cover, which was covered very well. Jaime Munguia gets the knockout, and surprise, surprise, John Ryder declares his retirement from the sport of professional boxing, which is not a surprise to me nor Danny, I believe. Danny, thoughts on Munguia's performance? I think they're pushing for the Canelo fight. Again, make it happen, Munguia. Canelo's going to wipe the floor with you, but I'll let Danny take the floor here.
I mean, he mentioned it, but it's not like he wasn't like super calling him out. He kind of say like technically he wasn't ready yet supposedly, but that he'll glad he'll make that fight happen if he could. But good performance from Munguia. One thing that I did like about him was in the beginning of that fight, probably like the first 4 rounds, he was more patient than usual. Picking his spots and breaking him down little by little. And then he started turning it up a little bit more. And then that 8th and 9th round, I'm like, come on, baby, bring it home. I don't know if you saw the Twitter, because I had Fundora and Collazo by knockout and Fundora by decision. But she got a late stoppage, like a minute
like
and a half late.
9, 10, yeah.
The Cruz tripped over her foot. If you see the angle of her, the camera, and then she gave her up at the back, and there was no warning. It was just boom. He just stopped it. I mean, bad beat. So I put a little bit more money on. I was that confident. I'm like, I think Munguia's gonna get it done. Round 9, round 10, round 9, like, and it happened exactly how I thought it would. He turned it up, and once he got him hurt, he knocked him down a couple of times, and then once he was hurt, he just got him out of there. It was over, man. Yeah, and Ryder, like you said, he retired. We pretty much thought that was coming. He got good payday, Canelo and then Munguia fight. So he left with a nice little bag, though, at least.
Yeah, really, kind of what we were saying. Nothing really surprised me. What shocked me the most was when we did the show, when we saw the odds. That was what shocked me the most because Munguia was just in there with Derevyanchenko, who was given as much as he could take, and we knew Ryder would not be able to take that type of punishment. Great win for Munguia, and yeah, he's getting better, which is nice because before he was getting hit way too often. Now he's owning up some defense and getting much better.
It could be with Freddie Roach, even though Freddie Roach is a more offensive guy, but you could tell, like I said, he was a bit more patient. And that works into your defense. You're not like throwing yourself out there too much.
Yeah. I guess there's 2 other pieces of information we can speak on. The unfortunate piece of information, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk got postponed. Tyson Fury got a cut on his eyelid. That fight moves from February 17th to mid-May, I believe. There were rumblings of finding a replacement for Fury. I don't think they're going with that. I think they should move the fight. Danny, thoughts? Because that was definitely going to be next week, which would have been a hell of a fight.
Man, my thoughts are I'm pissed off, man. When I see that, I'm like, please let this be fake. Like, not again. Jesus Christ. And then Fury again. It had to be him. Like, and I get it. It was a legit, he caught an elbow, I guess, in the sparring and got, cut right here. So, I mean, I get it. It is what it is. We got to wait till May, I think 17th it is.
Mid
for that fight.
Yeah.
It just sucks, dude. They were right there. And now we got to wait extra time. But, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like it's one of those, MMA guys, it's one of those fights like Khabib and Ferguson. Like, we're just not going to see it ever. That's how I feel, bro. It's just cursed.
Yeah, it does stink. I still thought it was too soon. I know originally the plan was December, and then Fury was in like a life and death battle with Ngannou, which, he didn't train for basically. Then they set it for February. I was excited. Still seemed relatively soon, but now it's going to happen in May. But the good news which is the fight we've all been talking about for years now. Dmitry Bivol is scheduled to fight Artur Beterbiev. That is set for June 1st. I believe it's in Saudi Arabia as well. Seems like they're getting all the big money fights. So this was definitely the fight to make. And I'm very excited and curious to see where this line opens up at.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Like that's gonna be interesting. I definitely want to see that. I'm so happy about this fight. I know you are too. Like everybody's been waiting for it for a while. Um, yes, I always get nervous. Like perfect example. Like you see the fight announcements and you get all excited. You're like, yeah, but then back in your mind, you're like, okay, I gotta wait this long, so hopefully nothing happens. Just like the Fury fight. Look, boom.
Yeah.
So hopefully, knock on wood, everything's fine, and that fight happens in June. So
Yeah, so I actually did just do a little quick search. It opens at a straight pick 'em, minus 110 each way, which definitely makes
that's
sense.
perfect. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, with especially with how Beterbiev has looked more so recently. I know Bivol has the big win over Canelo. His last fight, he probably could have stopped the guy, but he outclassed him easily over 12 rounds. So straight pick 'em makes total sense to me. Now we move into our feature bout this week. Teofimo Lopez is taking on Jamaine Ortiz. Current odds at our favorite book, mybookie.ag, promo code PUBSPORTS, has Teofimo Lopez as a moderate favorite, minus 750. Comeback on Ortiz is plus 550. Round prop, 10.5 rounds. Juice to the over. Lopez by decision is basically a pick 'em, minus 110. Lopez KO plus 200-ish, plus 180. Ortiz KO 11-1. Ortiz decision 6-1. Thursday night, Las Vegas, Nevada, Ortiz versus Lopez. Danny, do you think Ortiz can spring the upset, or will Lopez continue on his probably his most solid performance yet?
Yeah, and another announcement is the day after my birthday. My birthday's tomorrow, the 7th. So I'll be enjoying some boxing on Thursday.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Good matchup for real. And if you know me, not really. I don't really speak about it all like that, but like I'm kind of like a Ortiz hater, if you want to say hater. I'm not a hater, but like I just don't like the guy. I think he has a lot of hype just because he had decent rounds with Lomachenko that he sparred with for like over 200 rounds. He knew him, like the back of his hand. But the guy that I know, Ortiz, he for me, I think he's chinny. His chin is suspect. He fought Joseph Adorno back in the day. Adorno, to this day, I swear Adorno won that fight. He dropped him, hurt him multiple times. And Adorno does have some pop. It's not like he doesn't have any power or anything like that. But then he fought Moran. Moran just fought on the Wednesday card. Looked great too, by the way. Moran hurt him a couple times. Shout out to Gacho. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And he got hurt a little bit there too, even though he won the fight. And now this is his first fight at 140. And now you're taking that on Teofimo Lopez, which, me and you picked against a couple times. Just because it's mental. Because, if I don't talk about like his skills or athleticism, dude's got talent. But when it comes to mentality, with him, you just got to go like this. Just don't even listen. Just look at what's in the ring and see what type of guy he's gonna be that day. That's the only thing. He's a little inconsistent. Like if he's motivated and he's 100%, you saw what he did. Taylor, Josh Taylor in the last fight, hurt him a bunch of times. Just destroyed him pretty much the whole fight. And I'm so tempted. Round 7-12 is plus 333. I think is the best line at Bet365. For Lopez, because moving up 140 and you're facing one of the better guys at 140, which is loaded, and I already think you're kind of chinny and you've been hurt by the body a couple times. They do call him the technician. Dude could switch stances, really good technical jab, good combinations, tough kid. He's big too. Like if they say he's the same size 5'8", him and Lopez. If you saw the face off, he's a little bit taller. And I actually do like him weight-wise at 140 because he used to drain himself. Lopez, Ortiz, I mean, used to drain himself so much to make that weight, and now at 140, I think that's gonna help him. So after my first thought that Lopez, if he's motivated, I think he could break him down and finish him late. But with the added weight for Ortiz, I actually think that's gonna help him. He's not as dehydrated. Because if you go check out the weigh-ins when he fought Lomachenko or his last fight, like he looked so drained. And then look at him now, like those 5 pounds is a big difference. I think he could, at least survive. Maybe be a couple scares, maybe even a knockdown during the fight. And I got Lopez by decision in this one. And it's an easy hedge, I think if he stops on this later on, you could sprinkle a little bit around 7-12. But I like Lopez to win a clear decision in this one. Maybe have a little bit trouble in the beginning, but once he gets his timing and things like that, I think Lopez wins by decision.
Yeah, I mean that definitely adds up to kind of where I was going as well. Shout Juan Chavez in the chat and
JC.
Subhuman Gaucho. Yeah, Teofimo definitely made me eat my words as he killed Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor did not seem to be in it mentally, kind of with what we were speaking on with Teofimo, and even his father. His father definitely likes to talk
I can't
that
stand
talk.
it.
Yeah, a little too much. I watched for Ortiz. I watched for Jamal Herring. And I watched him versus Loma. Ortiz stylistically looks good, looks pretty like when he boxes. Definitely kind of leaves himself up, chin up for counters, and Teofimo can produce those highlight reel knockouts and knockdowns. 12-round fight, though, I'm leaning Lopez by decision as well. I just don't think he's going to have to go all out. I think he got his highlight last fight for Josh Taylor. This is more of a stay busy fight. I don't know if it was in the presser or just talking, that he was talking about like another big fight. They just made Loma versus Cambosis, I believe.
Yeah.
And I know he's been talking about that. Jose Ramirez is still out there, which would be still a fairly huge fight. So makes all the sense in the world. Teofimo, I think he's just has a little too much skill and speed. I think that's where he wins pretty much all his fights, is just too quick for the opponent. He'll be able to get in and out and avoid the counters of Ortiz. So it was good with Ortiz when I watched the Loma fight, more so the Herring fight, was he was countering, he was getting clipped, but he was countering 2, 3, 4X against Teofimo. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Teofimo is going to punch in and out, and I just don't want to see the dancing as much. I don't like it when Teofimo
That's
does the
another
dancing.
thing. Like, I feel like he could have that killer instinct, but like he dances. Like he could have took Taylor out in the last fight, honestly. But he was
the fight was over. Yeah,
showboating a couple rounds and stuff like that. That's what worries me too. So I think you can see that in this one too, because you were saying in the press conference too. Shout out to Andrew D. He was talking. He's talking shit to Keyshawn Davis. That's on the card too.
Yeah,
and like that's the thing where I try not to put that in my candy cap, but like if you're not gonna take Ortiz like super serious, I don't think he's gonna be in there super serious to get him, the finish. Even though he said, and this is another thing, he said, "I promise you, I'm gonna KO Ortiz," and I don't like hearing that from fighters. Me personally,
yeah, that seems like. I felt like Shakur Stevenson had a similar sentiment the last fight, and it was the most boring fight I watched.
There's only one guy that could say that. Well, two guys. And they back it up. Gervonta Tank Davis and my guy Super Matias, which they always back it up. So, but that's it. Anybody else, then I can't. I'm not gonna believe you until I see it.
Yeah, I definitely think this was, like I was saying earlier, more of a stay busy fight in hopes of getting a bigger promotional fight down the road. Thursday night, kind of a weird day. But what's nice for him, it is Super Bowl week. It's in Vegas. If people are in Vegas, they can probably go to the fight for a fair price. I don't think it's going to be, a huge ticket seller, so to speak. So he'll have his fans there. He'll, like I said, he'll look good. He'll do what he always does, and I think he wins a decision pretty convincingly. Not much more to say there. Co-main event, I believe you touched upon Keyshawn Davis, definitely getting a step up in competition. Jose Pedraza has fought some big name fighters. Danny, what do you think here? Current odds: Keyshawn Davis minus 800, Pedraza plus 500, plus 600. Does Keyshawn Davis keep it going, or does Pedraza pull off the upset over the young upstart?
Keyshawn, man, he's another one, kind of like which he has history, literally, like dealing with mental illness. He's been in clinics and stuff like that, like literally taking medication. That's why he got popped for smoking weed, because he was saying in an interview like that was the only thing that was like helping me. So he was smoking a lot. And now supposedly now, he stopped and he's more focused, and it's been like the better decision so far. But he's another one too, like mentally, like I don't know, man. Like I think he's got the skills. It's just like you're way ahead of yourself in your head. Like just go in there and do what you got to do. Stop, talking and doing all that extra stuff that makes you distract yourself. Like you're already talking to Teofimo about not calling him out after this fight and blah, 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 instead of talking to Pedraza, stuff like that, And Pedraza's a vet, like you said, and speaking of Gervonta Tank Davis was the only one to knock him out. Davis is a real good technical boxer, Puerto Rican cat, but he just doesn't have a lot of power, he's not super athletic. He's here to give Keyshawn really good rounds. This is how it is. It just depends if Davis wants to try to get the KO, which I don't think he will. I think Davis by decision is going to be my bet for this fight. Big step up, technician like Pedraza that's been there with a bunch of, high caliber fighters. If he knocks him out, that'll be a statement because, like I said, Gervonta Tank Davis was the only one to knock him out. So we'll see. But I like Davis by decision.
Yeah, I feel like this is. I think I will have to watch Pedraza because I just looked up. He hasn't won a fight in a while.
Yeah. So he started slow. Like the last couple fights, he started slow, and then who he fought last? Barbosa, was it?
Yeah, Barbosa was his last loss.
So he started super slow in that fight, and then Barbosa kind of got a little bit tired, and then Pedraza took over in late rounds, but it was too late. So yeah, he's there to give rounds, bro. Honestly, like he's not the biggest puncher or anything like that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean that makes all the sense in the world that they'll try to put a like you said, like the prospect.
Yeah, but don't get twisted
fight.
though. Yeah, there's a step up because.
Yeah, like to me, just looking at the line, I would probably bet Pedraza just because I think that's like crazy that this guy's 9-0 or 10-0. He's a minus 800 favorite for like a legit opponent, but maybe Keyshawn will just show out and wipe the floor with him. So it'll be interesting to see. Other piece of news, which of course is probably pure BS, but who knows? Talk about the Shakur Stevenson retirement. Shakur Stevenson says he is done with the sport of boxing. I forgot what the tweet read, but peace out, guys. I'm out. Yeah, something along those lines. Total clown show there, Shakur, because like he's an idiot.
So when I seen his post or tweet or whatever, I was literally quoting it, like writing my own, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even giving time of day. I'm like, it's just attention, bro. All you want is attention, and now you're gonna try to do a Teofimo Lopez, impression, I guess. I hate when fighters do that. Like, dude, stop crying. Like, but besides that, forget that. The real news is my boy's coming back, Subriel Matias. I think in June. I don't know the date especially, but he's gonna fight Liam Paro. That took my money against Love. So I'm getting my payback because that fight is going to be in Puerto Rico. And you're going to have to kill Matias if you think he's going to lose over there. So I'm excited for that. Because all that, like I told you, all that Teofimo Lopez was bullshit. That he wanted to fight Matias. knowing that Matias had to get surgery, and he's not gonna be ready for February 8th. He just fought, so whatever. But it is what it is. Hopefully they can make that fight, which I doubt, because I think Tia's gonna duck him.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be more on the lines of the Rolly Romero Isaac Cruz winner type deal. Than,
Yeah. That's another one. That's another.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked for the main event for that Amazon pay-per-view. Apparently, it's
I could have swore it was Tank, bro.
Yeah, Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman out from the clouds. The return of Keith Thurman. This guy never fights, and now I think he's moving up in weight. I don't think he fought at
he's
154.
Nope.
Yeah, so seems like a death wish to me. But good luck, Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, March 30th. Should be a fun fight, but I don't like Keith Thurman's chances much there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of bets that day because that's the UFC Atlantic City one and the boxing, and So
yeah, big time pay-per-view. That should do it for us, guys. Chat anything you would like to touch on, let us know. So always, if you become a gold member, it's $9.99 a month. However, the big perk is on Wednesdays and Fridays, I believe, Jimmy the Bags, Betting with the Bag show. Each show, there's a horse race. Your name gets put into the horse race. The winner of that horse race gets $50 US. And then, of course, we always do the $100 US contest to the winner for the UFC. That's weekly as well. UFC's back this week. Jack Hermanson, Joseph Pfeiffer, I think is the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys, of course, will be live for that. Hopefully the fights go well. I don't know how the last week's fights were. They didn't seem to be that great, but I don't really remember them much.
The main event sucked. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But it was a couple good fights, but it wasn't crazy card.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for us, guys. I think we're lockstep in best bet. Danny wants to touch on that and anything for the chat or people watching. Let them know.
No, if you got any quick questions that we can answer before we leave. But yeah, Teofimo by decision is gonna be my bet for this fight. I'll probably have Keyshawn Davis by decision also. And I think there's one other fight I gotta dig into in that undercard. I think there's a UK card that I'm interested in a little bit, so I might have some action on that. Just check me out on Twitter X, Danny Betts on IG too. So and see you Saturday for the fights. Hey, it's free. PUBSPORTSRadio.com. Put your picks in there for a chance to win $100. I mean, can't beat it.
Yeah, I'm right there with Danny. I do think Teofimo gets it done by decision. Not saying he's overlooking Ortiz. I just think he doesn't really need like a statement victory. And yeah, I'm not gonna bet against him after I've bet against him in previous outings and lost. So Lopez by decision is where I'm going as well. So all these guys, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on these fights, any of the announcements, the retirement talk, Fury Usyk, anything you got for us, we'll be sure to reply down below. And so as we'll see you guys. I'm not sure about next week because we got screwed with the Fury Usyk fight.
I know.
But we'll be back sooner rather than later after we cash another ticket with Teofimo by decision. This was the main event on Talkin Hands. See you guys. Peace.